हाँ अभी मेरा हो गया अनम्यूट। Hi, good morning, everyone. This is Almaz Sayed. Please confirm if these names they are students Mayuri, Priyanka Sawant, and Priyanka Pant.
Yeah, good morning, Mayuri, Priyanka, and one more Priyanka. Can you confirm how did you get this link, or you are from which organization? So one more Clinosol research I can see here. Anyone has joined from our team? Can you confirm? Anyone has joined from Clinosol's team?
Ma'am, I'm actually up.
Okay, you can drop off, ma. Akhila, you can drop off.
So all
Live streaming.
students should be joining using the YouTube link. YouTube link will be shared in the group. The WhatsApp group that you have joined through the link that was shared with you after you have registered. We request all the students to please join using the YouTube link.
Ma'am,
Akhila?
Yes.
ma'am, actually, I'm doing the live streaming at YouTube.
Okay, you have started the live streaming.
Yes,
Can we
yes,
ask?
ma'am.
Can we just check these three who have joined here are from which organization?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
I'm making you the post.
They are the students, ma'am.
So, uh, Priyanka Sawant, Priyanka Pant, and Mayuri, we request you to join from YouTube link. You can drop out from here. As they are not responding, I'm compelled to remove them from this.
Uma, I think, see, maybe because it's 11:30 time, I'm not sure if they have just logged in and they are waiting for 11:30. Maybe we will announce it once again and then we can.
Okay. Can you also confirm with this college whether anybody named Mayuri, Priyanka, or one more Priyanka from there? Any chance?
No, I'm just looking at the agenda one sec. So I will confirm if there are any staff. So staff who are expected to join, we'll just wait till we have a confirmation. So staff who are expected to join is Mufassir Momin, then the principal Hashim Mansoori, Varsha, Mehreen, and Ashwini and Samir Khan, they would be doing the vote of thanks at the end. So these are the name who should be joining from the college staff. So I understand that these three must be the students who have erroneously joined through the Zoom link, which is meant only for the speakers and staff.
Okay. As this is live streaming now, let's discuss in the team and let us find out if this link has been gone to any student groups.
Okay. Hi, Uma, can you hear me? Hello, a very good morning to everyone. We will get started soon. Warm welcome to everyone for this live webinar on future of clinical trials, integrating AI and machine learning in association with MS College of Pharmacy and Clinisol. So we are just waiting for few more students to join, and then we shall get started. Okay, good morning, everyone. Dr. Mufassir, may I request you to please start with the session with introduction to your college, and then we will take ahead as per the agenda.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Okay, fine. Just a minute. Okay, good morning to one and all present here. First, let me introduce myself. I am Dr. Mufassir Momin, Associate Professor at MS College of Pharmacy. I am honored to welcome you all on behalf of MS College of Pharmacy uh, for this webinar, which is entitled Future of Clinical Research, Integrating AI and Machine Learning. A very warm welcome to this absolutely wonderful and auspicious webinar that bring together so many special people like you. I would like to welcome all the delegates, students, academicians, and industry people, researchers, for taking the precious time for being a part of this illustrious webinar, which was organized by MS College of Pharmacy in collaboration with Clinisol Research Private Limited. I'd also like to welcome all the speakers, Mrs. Lavanya, Mrs. Almas Saeed, and Mrs. Uma Priya, and the whole dedicated team of the Clinisol Research Private Limited who were continuously working hard for the webinar. At this very special occasion, we are going to learn about a new emerging trend of artificial intelligence and their application in pharma sector, especially a clinical research organization or clinical research department. Let me share some data regarding the clinical research field. In India, clinical research organization or clinical trial is booming right now. It values near about 1.5 billion US dollar, and which is going to increase around 8.36 US billion dollar in the coming 2029. So there is a huge scope in the clinical research, which consists of many more departments like pharmacovigilance, medical writing, clinical research organization, and many other departments are there, which comes under this clinical research field. Now, without delaying any further, I would like to hand over the screen to Mr. Ashwin Somkumar sir, which is HOD, MS College of Pharmacy, as a keynote speaker. Thank you all. Hello, am I audible? Hello.
Yes, yes, sir, you are audible.
Ma'am, just allow Mr. Ashwin Somkumar sir so that he can take the further. Priyanka Pant, ma'am.
Okay,
Uh,
okay.
yeah.
Priyanka Pant. Okay, so I was just looking for that name. Okay, one sec. Yes, it is unmuted. Please go ahead. Yeah, thank
Okay,
you.
fine. Thank you.
Hello, am I audible? Hello, hello.
Yes, yes, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Good morning, all participants. I am Mr. Ashwin Somkur, HOD B Pharmacy from MS College of Pharmacy, Devgarwada. A visionary engineering Muhammad Shoaib Habibullah Khan founded the Habib Educational and Welfare Society, that is HUES, in the year 1993, with the objective of providing quality education and endeavor to bring the education for all sections of society, irrespective of religion, caste, and creed. With his son, our treasurer, Mr. Muhammad Khurshid Khan, and our joint secretary, Mr. Muhammad Ajaz Khan. The college has grown rapidly in short span, creating a niche for itself in the educational field of Mumbai by starting MS College of Arts, Science, Commerce, and Bachelor in Hospitality Science (BHS). Hotel management catering to the need of more than 1,500 students. Then they established college in Wada region as late Khatija College of Education (BEd), then BSc, BCom, Law, MBA, and many more. Now in the field of technical courses like graduation and post HSc, diploma course in pharmacy, and soon to explore more in the field of engineering and more. MS College of Pharmacy has been the new venture for us, started in the year 2019 in the valley of Khanivali, Taluka Wada. Well furnished and well established institute across the region. MS College of Pharmacy is recognized by the Maharashtra State Board of Technical Education, affiliated to Mumbai University, approved by AICT and PCI New Delhi. Our mission is to advance societal health through leadership in pharmacy education, research, community engagement, and improve patient care. Above all, serving mankind through enhancement of healthcare by providing competent and capable pharmacy profession and opportunity for educating all. Our vision is to nurture exceptional and visionary pharmacy thought, leader rooted in culture of excellence and innovation in education, research, practice, and community engagement. Now we are having around 400 students in pharmacy department, The institute has state-of-the-art infrastructure and instrumental facility and provide a serene atmosphere for academic excellence. We are gathered here to exchange ideas and open discussion on future of clinical trial, integrating AI and machine learning by Clinosol. Today's webinar is scheduled with our speaker, Ms. Lavanya. She will give a short introduction on clinical research and latest advance. Ms. Almaz Said will give a brief introduction to AI in clinical research, and Ms. Uma Priya will share ideas on growth of AI in India and career opportunity in clinical research. Clinosol provides an advanced training program designed to provide learner with the foundational knowledge and skill sets required to produce high quality clinical research. I hope you all will get benefited from today's webinar. Now, I would like to hand over our session to our host. Thank you.
Thank you, Ashwin sir. Thank you, Mufassir sir, for that wonderful and warm welcome. Clinisol is very proud to be associated with you. It's a pleasure to bring in our expertise to your college students and for your college students to learn from us. So, like you said, it's an open forum of learning. It's where we are going
Hello.
to exchange ideas. Can you
Am I-
hear me?
Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Please on host का mute है madam, Meherin madam.
Merriman, yeah, okay. So,
Ish.
Lavanya, we have Mehreen who would be just introducing you quickly, and then you can take
All
over.
right, sure.
Yes, Mary ma'am, you are unmuted now. Please go ahead. Thank you. Yes, hello, Ashwin sir, Mehreen ma'am, can you can please go ahead and introduce the speaker and we can get
Ma'am.
yes.
Okay. Good morning, all. I am Mehreen Falke, lecturer, MS College of Pharmacy. I am delighted to introduce our first speaker, Ms. Lavanya. With a robust background in clinical research and extensive experience across various roles, Lavanya has demonstrated her expertise and dedication to the field. From December 2009 to November 2011, she served as a junior manager in clinical research at Dr. Reddy's Laboratories in Hyderabad, India, where she monitored an in-house biological molecule and was deeply involved in all aspects of trial monitoring, including site study and vendor management, leading to the successful launch of the drug in the market. Prior to this, Lavanya worked as a clinical research associate at SIRO Clean Farm India Limited in Mumbai, India from November 2006 to March 2008. There she monitored three phase 2 to 3 trials for a global sponsors, showcasing her ability to manage complex clinical trials. Her career in clinical research began at MV Hospital for Diabetology in Chennai, India, where she served as a clinical research coordinator from August 2005 to November 2006. At this leading institution for diabetes management, she coordinated 3 diabetology trials and assisted in an in-house research study on the effects of yoga on diabetes management. Lavanya's educational qualifications include a certificate in holistic living skills, completed in January 2023 in Bangalore, India, which covered WHO recommended living skills, communication, and leadership qualities. She has an MSc in biochemistry from the University of Madras, completed in May 2005 in Chennai, India. Lavanya possesses a diverse skill set that includes clinical research, monitoring, training, and mentoring, vendor management, site communication and management report writing, and project coordination and support. Her contributions have been recognized with a Stellar Award in 2010 for outstanding performance at Dr. Reddy's Laboratory. She is proficient in English, Hindi, Tamil, and has limited working proficiency in Telugu and French. Her interests including reading, hiking, and travel, which reflect her passion for continuous learning and exploration. I would like to request our speaker to share few words on today's webinar.
Thank you, Mehreen. Do I take over from here, Almas?
Yes, sure.
Yes, Lavanya, please go ahead.
All right. Thank you, Mehreen. That was a wonderful and warm introduction. Thank you so much. I want to thank Mufassir sir and Mr. Ashok for the introductions, for welcoming and hosting us this morning. It's a very productive collaboration. Thank you, students, for being here, for all those who take that extra mile to go ahead and add that extra advantage to your career. We are happy to have this forum with you. So going ahead, talking about clinical research, like Sir just mentioned, in India, it's a billion-dollar industry, and we are just surging ahead. We have the talent pool, we have the students with all the qualifications, we have great medical setup and advancements. So it is no doubt that clinical research is booming in India. It's set to become a billion-dollar industry. So how do we tap into this? How do we be ready for this industry? What are the skill sets to be possessed? Where is the industry going? This is something we between Almaz, myself, and Uma, we'll take you through this, and we hope you have a great learning session today with us. Thank you. I'll start my session now. Is my screen visible to all of you?
Yes, Lavanya, it's visible. You can just get on full screen mode. Yeah.
Okay,
Good.
great. Yeah, so a brief introduction into clinical research and advances. I will take you through this. I take care of training and development for Clinosol. I also work with students and student placements. So I'll give you an overview, and at any point, you can ask me for questions, or we can park all the questions at the end, and we'll have an open forum for that. Yeah. So what is clinical research? So clinical research is it's a component of the medical and healthcare industry that involves human participants, drugs that we want to bring in for the betterment of the people. And just give me 1 minute. Sorry, I'm just having a technical glitch here. Just 1 second. Okay, so how did the evolution of clinical research happen? From where exactly did the trial start? How did we start trying out drugs in human beings and start working on betterment of treatment for humans? There is history and there is data that as early as 500 BC was when the first trial occurred. When it started, it didn't even start as a clinical trial. So what happened was there was a king in the olden biblical times. So he was a very authoritative ruler, and he said, I'm going to put all my kingdom, the inhabitants of my kingdom into a non-vegetarian diet, and I only want them to eat meat and have wine. But there was a small sect of people who didn't want to have a non-vegetarian diet throughout, and they took permission from the king to follow a vegetarian diet for a very small period. So the king gave them permission that over 10 days or a week, they can have a vegetarian diet. So this went on for a few months. And actually what happened is, after a few months, the king realized that the people of his kingdom who were only on who also had vegetarian diet as part of their meal actually showed better health. So inadvertently, he actually started the first trial. He actually gave people a different therapy or a treatment or a diet, and he got data out of it. So though it didn't start off as a clinical trial, people later realized that it was a trial. He administered a kind of a treatment or a diet regime, and he got data out of it. So as early as 500 BC, we can see that there were trials happening. And then in 1537, there is a documented evidence when, when there was a war happening, and when many of the soldiers were injured, the in-house person who was taking care of treatment, or the doctors, didn't have the prescribed oil. And there were a lot of injured soldiers coming in, and they didn't know what to do. They had to treat them. So actually, the medical person in charge, he had an idea. So with whatever little oil he added some egg yolks for protein, and he had some oil, he added that, and he didn't want to send back his injured soldiers. So he offered this as a therapy to them. And then after a week, when the soldiers recovered, he realized that the patients who were treated on this, that ad hoc therapy that he came with of rose oil and egg yolks, they showed great recovery. So from that, he took that as a prescription or a prescribed way to treat further injuries. So those are like very, very early records of when clinical trial actually happened. Then we have the scurvy study, which was done on the UK sailors. When scurvy was very common for sailors. They used to be away at the sea and not have access to vitamin C. Scientist James Lind actually performed a study. He gave a few soldiers oranges, lemon, and then he realized that the sailors who were taking the therapy of oranges and lemon that was rich in vitamin C helped the sailors recover from scurvy. So those are the earlier trials. And from then on, we've had a lot of hits, a lot of misses, and then it is where we are today. So over this period, as trials, as experiments progressed, we came up with a lot of laws. We improved our research methodologies. We have come up with newer techniques. And here we are today at the cusp of a completely another revolution in clinical trials, which is going to be taken forward by artificial intelligence and machine learning. So how does a clinical trial progress? So we have the drug that is discovered in the lab, and then we have the drug that is prescribed by the physician. So what happens in this whole stage? Is it that a drug that is discovered within a day comes to the physician? No, that can't happen. So what we go through is different phases of a trial. The drug, as it develops, has to go through different phases, and all these phases come with their own commercial interests. They are they have their financial implications, they have their scientific implications, they have ethical implications, regulatory implications. So I'll give you a brief intro about each phase of development and take you through the clinical trial process. So once a drug is shortlisted, it's the the pharma company, and they realize, okay, this is the therapy that we want to bring into the market for treatment of a certain disease. So what do? They have identified their molecule, they do preclinical studies, they do animal studies, have their safety data in place, have their PK/PD studies. And then once the animal studies are done, so eventually this drug is for human treatment. So how do they know? Is this for safe? Is this going to be efficacious? How do they determine all this? Is by starting a clinical trial. So after your initial animal studies, the first phase of the clinical trial is called the phase 1. In phase 1, it is the first time that a drug that has been discovered is tried on human beings, human subjects, right? And since it is for the first time, the population of the participants, they are healthy people on whom we are going to see if this drug is safe, and hence we keep the number of subjects we choose to a very, very small number. We have never tried this in human, it has never been administered, so we don't do it in a large population. We do it in a very small setup, just about 20 to 80 patients. It's a very controlled setting. And here, after administration, we continuously monitor them. We see their safety, we see their responses, we see how the drug behaves in the human being, we see how the human being responds to the drug. And all this data is continuously collected and stored for further analysis. So once the drug is determined to be relatively safe, we say, okay, we have good safety results. What do we do now? So that we know the drug is safe. So we want to take it ahead in research and see how efficacious is it. Is it going to treat the population or the disease population it is meant for? So from phase 1, the drug progresses into the next phase of the trial, which is a phase 2. So in phase 2, we study safety. We have a certain amount of data which shows us the drug is safe in phase 1, but it is in phase 2 that we are going to study it further. We are going to see the different doses that can bring about, that will prove efficacious in the treatment of the intended disease. So phase 2 is an exploratory phase where we have a certain amount of data from phase 1 and we explore and the drug further. And in phase 2 is the first time when we administer it to the intended disease population. Since it's the first time we are trying it on the patients with the disease, we look at the patient population here as a person with an average disease, not very much at the beginning, not very end term of or high level of uncontrolled stages of the disease. We look at an average patient population. So this is what happens at phase 2. Here, it is done in a few more centers compared to a phase 1, and we have a higher patient population. We look at 100 to 300 patients. And we see what is the, it is here we'll determine what is the dosing that will work. We determine the dose. So once we determine the dose, we move into phase 3. Phase 3 is a much larger study, happens at much more complex level. We recruit or we take in as much as, from anywhere from 300 to 3,000 subjects, many centers. It can be a global studies happening across various countries simultaneously. So all that data we have in phase 1, phase 2, we will confirm it in phase 3. Phase 3 is the confirmatory phase. And it is here, this phase is very, very important for the trial. All the data that we gather in phase 3 goes into the package insert of the drug. It makes it to the label. This is what we would share with the investigators or the physicians who later use that information to educate the patients. So all your information in phase 3 that is gathered is very valuable for the drug to be marketed. The regulatory authorities give us approval based on the data that comes out of phase 3. So assuming that the drug has successfully gone through phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3, and it turns out to be a drug that promises good treatment, has a good safety parameter, the sponsor company would do the required regulatory formalities and have the drug approved for marketing. So once it is marketed, it is now available for the physician to prescribe it. So even after once a physician prescribes it, we do not have the control on the patient population. The physician prescribes and it is out there in the market. But the sponsor companies do not stop collecting safety data. So in phase 4, what is called the post-marketing surveillance is when the physician starts prescribing the drug and the companies continue to gather data. So these are the 4 phases of a drug trial till the drug comes into market. So now who all are involved in a clinical research? Clinical research is just not the pharma company discovering the drug and bringing it to the market. There are plenty of stakeholders who play a very important role through their entire journey of the drug coming to the market. Of course, it starts with the sponsor or the pharma companies like Novartis, Cipla. They are at the heart of it. It is their responsibility, their molecule that they are bringing. We have Sun Pharma, we have Dr. Reddy's locally, globally, we have Pfizer, and so many more. Right now, a lot of universities do their research and come up with molecule, and they partner with pharma companies to carry out clinical trials if they are limited in terms of experience or resources. So sponsor is the party that discovers the drug and are working on developing it as a treatment and bringing it to the market. Then we have investigators who play a very important role. They are those at the site level to conduct the trials. Patient advocacy group mainly works in Western countries where like in rare diseases or for oncology, they have groups that come up to the government, they lobby for treatment, they find out what are the therapies happening, and they try to give access to the patients to treatment. Ethics committee play a very key role. They are the neutral watchers to ensure that any trial that is being carried out by the investigator will truly bring more benefit to the patients and all the risks involved is justifiable. They keep a watch. Regulatory authorities, yes, they are the ones who will ultimately give the marketing approval. And throughout the trial, they play a key role. They conduct audits. They keep a watch. Now, the third-party payers are all your insurance companies and all that who have a stake now more so in clinical research because a lot of us are all insured, so that insurance, hospitals stay, they come into play there. Third-party vendors would be like Oracle, Accenture. They all provide a lot of back-end services. They, as I take you through the slide, you'll see we have brought in a lot of technology into how we manage clinical trials now. So these are companies that provide a lot of back-end and software technologies for clinical trials. So earlier clinical trial was this, it was a lot of paperwork. You would go to a sponsor, the sponsor would have a lot of paperwork. So the thing with clinical trial is you want to have an audit trail and everything to be documented when the FDA comes for inspections or audits, or when we go for marketing approvals, you need to be able to trace back the entire journey of the drug development. And till about 5 or 6 years back or a decade back, we relied heavily on paper to maintain our documents. It was a very tedious process. The sponsor had a lot of paperwork. Ethics committee had paperwork. The investigator dealt with a lot of paperwork. So if we would go for monitoring, or if the sponsor had to come, there was always so much paperwork followed that after a monitoring, we would all probably look like this. So what is monitoring? Monitoring is a very important aspect of clinical trial. Either the sponsor takes the responsibility of it, or it is given to a CRO. CROs are contract research organizations who take up responsibility on behalf of the sponsor to oversee and a clinical trial. So in India, we have many CROs, IQVIA, PPD, to name the top tier ones, and there are many new ones in the play as well. So the sponsor would delegate the responsibility to the CRO, and the CRO would have its monitors who would go to the site and ensure that every data that has been collected is verifiable, it is true. So this was called as a source data verification. So every data that we would collect from the patient, a monitor would actually go sit in the site, compare it to various records of the patient, the medical history, the lab values, and make sure that they were 100% correct or authentic. So this way of manually verifying data was a very, very tedious process. So, I mean, the way clinical research is now being done in India, we have so many sites. So, in terms of manpower, in terms of resources, in terms of, even physical storage spaces to store all these documents, it was very tedious. You needed a lot of resources, you needed a lot of space. So one of the earliest or a decade back, the change that we saw to reduce and to streamline the processes is when we moved into electronic data capture from paper case report forms. Case report forms are CRFs where you collect the data of the patient and eventually this is used by the sponsor. So the earliest changes that happened where we started electronic data capture. From capturing all the data onto a paper-based, we moved to electronic system where the site could do away with storing huge files and just have their source and enter it into a computer. So as we progress from from paper to electronic mode, it also became very easy for the sponsors to have access to data. They didn't have to wait for over a long periods of time for the site to, release all the CRFs, for the data management group to clean the data out, and eventually for them to have a look or do any interim analysis they needed. So as we moved to electronic systems, even for the sponsor, data became readily available. And by just a click of the mouse or sitting across the system, they were able to have a complete overview of the data. If there was any errors or something missing, they could take quick action. So eventually from on-site monitoring, where every time the monitor would travel, we moved to a more centralized system. The sponsor would have an overlook at the data. They would pick up the concern areas, share it with the CRO or with the monitoring team, and then the monitors would go to site and only look at those processes that needed to be cleaned up or worked upon to ensure better data. And this approach was not only, it didn't benefit sponsors, even FDA and other regulatory bodies started working on this as they saw that this was a much leaner and a smarter way to access data and improve the way trials was conducted.
Sorry to interrupt you, Almas here. Just wanted to check if you're sharing a full screen. It's not visible to us. Can you please check it once again? Yeah, it's not on full screen mode.
Okay, give me a minute.
Yes, please. It's okay if you want to switch off your video for some time. That's fine. Please have.
Yeah, I think, yeah, I'll do that. Just give me a minute.
Sure.
Okay, let me stop share and again see how it works. Just give me a minute.
Yeah, apologies. I think the speaker is facing some technical issues. Lavanya, you can just check, else I can share it on your behalf and you can take it over.
I think I'm not able to go full screen. That's the only issue. So aren't my slides visible?
Yeah, Lavanya, your slides are visible, but it's not coming on full screen. Okay, can you please stop sharing? Let me just share my screen. I'll share it for you. Is that okay?
Yeah, that should be okay.
Okay, fine. Yeah, so I think you were talking on this slide. You want me to just let me know once you want me to move the slides.
I think you can go to the next slide.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, so I already spoke about the electronic data capture. This is where the one of the earliest technologies that where we moved from paper-based into a electronic way of capturing. It was called electronic data capture. These are they replaced heavy paper CRFs and gave us cleaner and more ready data that was easily accessible. Yeah, Almas, the next one, please. Okay, I also spoke, I was just talking about risk-based monitoring. So as I told, once we moved to the ERF, eCRF system, and when the sponsor had much faster and quicker access to the data that was coming out of the site, they realized that the working of the entire process of the clinical research of a trial can be streamlined and made leaner. So every time the monitor didn't have to rush to the site to go verify, see the documents, do 100% source data verification to check through all the documents, they started picking out areas of concern. If a certain lab values or certain parameters or certain process weren't working at the site, they would only flag these issues. The monitor would go to the site, work on these issues, and ensure that once this was fixed, the data coming out was cleaner. So they could also streamline their work, and they didn't have to spend all their time or resources on doing monitoring for activities that were already fixed or streamlined. Yeah, next one, Almas. So as the site and the monitoring process is streamlined, and then, when COVID happened, so they started to find a way in which even the patient visits could be streamlined. Then we started moving towards a concept called decentralized trials. Investigator site did not be the main hub where the patient had to come every time to go through the trial processes. So this is another place where technology played a very, very important part. We started with something as simple as e-diaries, home monitoring glucose kits, home monitoring for hypertension, where the patient did not have to visit the site every single time, especially for routine procedures that could be carried out from the comfort of their home. They would record their sugar, in diabetes trials, they used to record their sugar levels. They used to, and it would immediately get uploaded, and the sponsor would have the data available. The e-diaries replaced manual diaries where the site would have to fill in details or have reminders for them to take their medication on time. Then with e-diaries, the prompts were quicker. They could record if they have taken their study medication or no. And all these eventually became data that could be easily accessed. And one thing we saw when we moved to all these electronics and technology-based system is that compliance improved. And with compliance improving, the data that came out was much more efficient. Patient, their well-being also improved because they were more compliant towards their medication and towards their regimen. And this also enabled us to continuously monitor patients. So, we didn't have to follow up every time. We would probably log in and have a dashboard view of things. We knew which study patient was taking the drug, which patient needed to be called, reminded, followed up. Yeah, so this way, the way clinical trials operated greatly improved. Next one, Almas. These are other areas where we had patient-reported outcomes. We may see this in a lot of psychiatry trials, of course, and diabetology. So they would record all their feedback and share it. This was done more on a real-time basis. Yeah, next one. So this is where we eventually will go now. We have technology playing a greater role in clinical research. Almaz and Uma will take you all through the details. We have AI, we have, so many things that have come in. I just gave you all an overview of where all technology has come in. But what is that technology and how are we seeing the benefits of it is what you all will see through ahead. Next one, Almaz. Yeah, the next one. So with so much data coming in, with so much technology in play, there is always a concern about, hacking, data being leaked. Once you feel it's on the internet, we don't feel that, it is as secure. So we have ethics and all the regulations around technology involved in clinical trials constantly evolving. Institutions like ICH, GCP, they are coming up with improved guidelines. They're trying to keep up with times. FDA, EMEA, Health Canada, so much of regulatory guidelines. They're constantly working, and this is an ever evolving field. So with all the technology intact, the heart of it is still the patient's well-being. So with all their information out in the internet, we make sure that the primary 3 tenets of safety, well-being, and autonomy is guarded and respected. So we have a lot of regulations in place, and you will see that through this session today as well. Next one, Almaz. Yeah, so like I said, these are the challenges, right? Informed consent, protection of data privacy, equitable access to healthcare, and finally, transparency and accountability. So when the sponsor shares all the data, how much of it can be shared, how much of it has to be retained to protect patient identity is an ever-evolving field. But like I said, EMA, FDA, and Health Canada have done a lot of work, and there's a lot of work still happening in this field. Next one, Almaz. Yes, so we are going forward to, embrace the new future. It's going to be tech-driven, it's going to be AI-driven. And at the end of it, but we still want to make sure that the best kind of treatment or the most effective treatment comes out while taking care of patients' well-being. Almaz, next one. I think with this, that would be it. And I think from here, Almaz will take it forward. Thank you so much. Any basic questions in clinical research, I can take it now, or we can take it as a combined session after the 3 speakers.
Thank you so much, Lavanya. Thank you so much for that wonderful session. Marine, may I request you to please take the session forward? And request all the students to put your questions in the chat so that we can take it at the end of the session.
Excuse me, ma'am. Will you please unmute Priyanka Busara, ma'am?
Sure.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, this is done. Thank you so much, Marine.
Thank you, Lavanya ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes, Priyanka. You're audible, Priyanka. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Lavanya ma'am, for your informative session. I'm Ms. Varsha Ghodke, the Assistant Professor in MS College of Pharmacy. Now, I would like to introduce our second speaker, Alma Saeed ma'am. Alma Saeed is seasoned professional with extensive experience in the pharmaceutical and clinical research industry. She holds a Master in Business Administration in International Business, a life science degree in microbiology, and diplomas in medical lab technology, as well as clinical research and regulatory affairs. Almas is certified trainer by NPTEL, a lead auditor in QMS, and Food Safety Management System and certified ICH GCP trainer by TCS. Almas has conducted over 300 training sessions annually and has also led a pharmacovigilance session as a guest speaker in several pharmacy colleges. She has delivered a numerous training in clinical research, protocol safety monitoring, and pharmacovigilance for life science associate investigator, and academic institute. She has been a prominent speaker at multiple pharmacovigilance conference and has conducted a pharmacovigilance and business communication training and workshop for 20 years, impacting a various institute and colleges. In her previous role, she has served as a senior manager and training lead for pharma and medical device at Wipro Tech Solution, QA specialist and pharmacovigilance SME trainer at Tata Consultancy Services, PV lead and process trainer at Cognizant Technology Solution, QA manager at Impel Pro SCM Solution, senior faculty in clinical research at CREMA, senior drug safety associate at Tata Consultancy Services, safety executive at SIRO Clean Pharma Private Limited, customer cell representative at Spanco International Private Limited and Laboratory, technician in pathology department at Wadia Hospital. I request Ms. Almas ma'am to continue with her words.
Thank you so much, Priyanka. Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome once again for this webinar. I hope all of you are having a great time and a very informative session here. So just allow me to quickly share my screen, and one of you just confirm once it is visible. Yeah, I hope my screen is visible to everyone.
Yes, Almas, it's visible.
Okay, thank you so much. I think we heard from Lavanya about what clinical research is all about. I think she has touched upon all aspects of different phases of clinical trials. She has taken you over through the traditional way, or how we have been conducting research, the process of monitoring, who all are the stakeholders. She did touch upon the monitoring aspect, EDC, and she has introduced you to some terminologies and all advancements, how we have now adopted the technology and we are excelling, or we have integrated this with our as a system. So moving forward, I will start with the introduction of AI. All of us, we have heard about artificial intelligence or AI, but just to ensure that we are all on a same page, when we talk about artificial intelligence, it's actually a technology which will enable your computer and other devices to implement tasks that would otherwise require high level of human intelligence. So what it means is, it's basically a computer driven technology which is helping human beings to carry out their work in a much faster and easier way, right? Artificial intelligence is actually changing the overall way in how we have been conducting research, the overall journey, the life cycle of a pharmaceutical product, the way we have been conducting research, how we are monitoring safety of the patients, how we are looking into pharmacovigilance, data management, right? And overall healthcare system. So it is giving lots of advantage to all those people who are involved, and definitely the patients, okay, who are the end consumers. So we are able to give a better services, a better healthcare services to all the patients. Summarizing the advantages of AI that I'm going to talk about in this deck today is about increased accuracy. That's the first one, because these are technologies. There are computers, there are systems, technologies which are involved in this. We can expect that whatever activities, whatever processes that we are working with, the outcome would be accurate. So it's able to, the technology, or with the help of technology, we are able to carry out all these activity with a much higher or better accuracy. Decision making. You have heard from the previous speaker about the different phases of trials, the people who are involved or the stakeholders who are involved, right? So this entire process is not very easy. There are lots of stakeholders who are involved, lots of data that would come across, lots of processes. So, scrutinizing, looking into it, adding some report doing analysis. So this would require lots of time, and lots of people are involved in this. So getting into decision making at times could become difficult, but with the help of technology like AI, this has become simplified, or this has become easier now. To solve complex problems. So like I mentioned about decision making, when we work with lots of data, there are lots of reports, or there are lots of things that we are working with, lots of hands involved, right? So there would be solutions which needs to be solved in a better way. So complex problems given to a computer, we are able to solve it with ease, or it is easily been handled or taken care of. And the other advantage is that it is able to perform high level of competition. We are actually going to handle lots of data, lots of numbers, okay, when it comes to conducting research, conducting some surveillance, right? So with the help of technologies, all this data calculation, computation, analysis, generation of reports would become much more simple and easier. So let me begin with the process of drug discovery and development. We all know that this entire process of drug discovery, development, conducting the research, and then getting the drug into the market is a long process, right? Ideally, it would take nothing less than 10 to 12 or maybe even 15 years. At the same time, there is a need for putting lots of people, lots of hands, expertise, resources are needed, and you have to put in finance, money, right? So without that, the trials, the discovery, the development, and getting the drugs in the market would not be successful. So with the introduction of technologies like AI, machine learning, we have been able to cut short or streamline this process, and this has helped us in reducing the time in which we can expect the new drug to come in the market, right? So one of the processes, your in silico screening, where we are doing AI, or we are using AI algorithms which will accelerate the virtual screening of compounds, and they rapidly identify potential drug candidates. So your entire process of the drug target selection, lead identification, and then taking it into the labs has been reduced. So the timeline has reduced, and hence it accelerates or expedites the process of your overall discovery and development. Predictive modeling. In this slide, I'm going to talk about predictive modeling with different examples, at various segments of the session that I'm going to conduct today. Predictive modeling is one important feature or characteristic of AI, which we are getting, because when we work with computers, they are trained, they're capable of learning, right? And there is a memory that stays with it. So with this information, they are able to link, they're able to identify and predict, right? So drug efficacy, toxicity, pharmacokinetic properties, and thus they helps in overall streamlining of the process. So with this, what we are able to achieve is a clinical trial optimization, right? Till date, we have been working with lots of complex study, the overall trial design, the methodology, especially the phase 3 or the RCT trials, right? These are not very simple. They are quite complex in nature, with lots of study arms involved. There could be multiple drugs, right? Having treatment arm A, B, C, right? Hectic schedule for the patients. And then with all these complexity, it is important for us to ensure that the trial is happening in a correct way. There is a compliance, and you are conducting the trial in an accurate way. So with the introduction of AI, we are able to get this faster and more in a more efficient way. Other uses of AI and machine learning that we have seen, or where technology has been leveraged, is in drug repurposing and optimization. We all know that once the drug is there in the market, there are parallel trials. The sponsor, the pharma companies, they would definitely start looking for other indications where the drug could be used for. So genomic analysis, computational chemistry, or neural networks these are some methods which AI and machine learning that would use, so that they are able to identify more targeted diseases, personalized medication, okay, and they are helping overall optimizing the drug design and efficacy. Okay, even for novel drugs, the repurposing opportunities, neural networks, which is using deep learning, again one of the segment within your machine learning, will help this purpose, make it easy. Personalized medicine, the same concepts applies here. With the help of AIs, we are able to identify specific genetic markers. Okay, and with this, personalized treatment plans can be developed. Same with the patient stratification. Now, when we are conducting clinical trials, one of the process that we follow or method that we follow is stratification. It simply means dividing the patients in groups or cohorts. Okay, so with the use of machine learning, okay, machine learning models, we are able to identify, classify, and do that bucketing of patients depending upon the biological, clinical, and other lifestyle data. So that, okay, there are harmonized set or group or cohort of people, and then accordingly the treatment can be given. Treatment response prediction. So this is about what I was talking about, that with the help of machines, with the help of technologies, we are able to identify the possible effect of the drug, okay, on human subject, and this will help that, okay, how the drug response, what is the drug response, and what could be the possible adverse reaction that can come in. This will overall improvise the way how treatments are being given to the patients. And precision medicine. So precision medicine means we are doing something with more accuracy, because we are able to understand or we are able to predict the response or outcome well ahead in time. Rare disease diagnosis and treatment. So earlier this used to take lots of time, right? Diagnosis of some diseases, also the stage, especially cancer. I'm sure all of you are aware about it, right? But with the help of these technologies, and then using these technique of genomic analysis, machine learning, drug repurposing, we are able to give customized or more personalized medication to the patients, and it is also helping us to accelerate the overall time which we earlier used to spend in identification or diagnosis of rare diseases, and also coming up with the treatment option. Medical imaging and diagnostic. So this is also one field where AI, machine learning has significantly contributed. When we talk about patients' records, okay, there are lots of medical documentation, history, case report forms, so many things that we have to deal with. Also, our machine learnings or AI algorithms, this help us to rapidly analyze the medical images. So earlier it used to be time consuming for doctors to look into it, or for radiologists or technician to look into all these pictures, this scan, and then identify the patterns and come up with the reporting. Also, in many cases, I'm sure all of you are aware that when such kind of diseases happen, or the patient wishes to refer, or the doctor wants to refer them to some other person, or maybe to a seniors, then sharing this information becomes very, very easy through the help of AI. Computer aided detection, again, this will help the radiologist in identifying, detecting the classification of tumors, what grade it is, the lesions. So earlier with CTAC criteria is what we have been using. Now with machine learnings or AI technologies, we are able to achieve this at a very faster and at a more easier way. This is a typical AI guarded or AI model, where we are looking at the entire end-to-end process of the patient coming in, right? So consider a scenario where you have a patient, coming to a clinic or to his family physician, and the patient comes up with some, disease or condition. Say, for example, it is DVT, deep venous vein thrombosis, right? Now, how can the physician assist the patient? With the data of the patient, and because it is all AI enabled, we will be able to identify that how many trials, most of these trials are global in nature, right? So identify how many trials for this particular condition or disease are ongoing. With this, they are quickly able to get some triggers. There are some information which comes into the mobile phone, right? And because it is all connected devices, right? And the mobile will give prompts of, okay, in so and so region, or this sponsor is hosting maybe a phase 2 or a phase 3. So with this, the patient is able to take up these studies or participate in these trials, and there will be the physician or the doctor who will assist with the help of mobile or wearable devices. And then the patients can give an e-consent, and then the patient is enrolled for the study. Now the physician and the patient stays, or they're able to stay in touch continuously. The physician is able to monitor what's happening to the patient, right? No need for the patient to travel very often to the site, because the patient is having an access. There are all virtual things which are available, which will guard the patient, which will help the patient to engage in the trial, ask queries. There are chat box, there are virtual assistance which is provided to the patient. So this entire process of clinical trial recruitment and patient engagement becomes very, very simple and easier. Now we must understand that earlier, or since decade, the traditional method that we have been following for patient recruitment has been very, very difficult, because at every site, even for the physician or the investigators who are conducting the trial, they have a specific target for recruiting 100 patient, 200 patients. And then the protocols are very complex, looking into the eligibility criteria, what is the inclusion, exclusion. There is too much of data, right? Medical history. So screening them, going through the checklist and seeing that, okay, I have 10 patients who are meeting my inclusion criteria. There are 5 patients, who does not fulfill or satisfy, and they should be excluded. So doing all these things manually would actually be very, very time consuming, right? And this would actually impact the recruitment and then the enrollment and starting of the clinical trial. So with the help of AI, the eligibility screening has become easier. Uh, uh, participant matching. So now with machine learning, I know that, okay, I have a so and so patient, the physician or the investigator has a history, right, or has the data, and with AI we are able to do that identification or matching. So quickly the patient has an access to the trial, and the trial also knows that, okay, these are the eligible patient that needs to be picked. Okay. Similarly with engagement and retention, this is also one of the challenges, right? When we conduct research, it is seen that at some stage or the other, after say few months, the patients start losing interest in participating, or in their will to continue in the study, right? There could be multiple reasons. But with AI, we are able to stay in touch with the patients, right? There are chat box, there are wearable devices, so they can be in touch with the physician, investigator, and continuously ask their queries. So there is more a feeling of being connected to the physician. Whatever queries they have, whatever issues, trouble, or any event if they experience, they can quickly get in touch with the concerned person and report it. So with this, the engagement of the patient in the trial, and also the process of retention has become easier, right? And because the number of visits we are able to cut down with the help of AI, the patient does not feel that tension or that botheration that, okay, I have to go so often, I have to travel from different places, and I have to reach the site. So those kind of visits have been significantly reduced. In continuation to patient monitoring and engagement, how are we able to do this? So remote patient monitoring, I think Lavanya just spoke about this, right? So earlier the monitoring activity happened very often, every monitor CRA traveling to the site, all locations, global slide, different places. So lots of traveling activity, too much of data in front of the monitor and the investigator to look and review. With the help of AI, what is happening now? It is all variables, right? Connected devices. So they don't have to necessarily write or talk about each and everything. There are devices which is connected with other devices or variables, and the information will automatically flow from the patient to the physician or to the healthcare professional, right? Also, if there are any kind of alerts, right? Say for example, the patient has high pulse rate, or the patient is wearing a device, or maybe a smartwatch, okay, heart rate going up, right? Or other activity or vitals or BP, for example, BP, right? So the physician will quickly get that alert, and he knows what's happening to my patient. Okay. Similarly, the virtual health assistant, there are virtual nurses also which are available. Okay. Chat boxes. So they will keep, pushing some reminders that, okay, you are due to take the medication. Okay. Say for example, we have seen this especially in studies like COPD or asthma, where the patients are supposed to take their inhalers, right? They have a meter dose inhaler. And many a times it is observed that they miss, okay, the dose inhalation. They are left with zero dose, and they do not understand, right? So in such cases, there is a possibility that they might miss their dose. But with the help of virtual assistants or chat box, they have this reminders which help them to know that, okay, this is the dose which is remaining, and I need to connect with the healthcare professional before I am due for taking next dose. And there is a better level of medication adherence. So because the patients are feeling more involved, they are feeling that they are getting a personalized attention, right? They feel confidence in the trial. they feel more connected to what's happening in the trial. They understand that, okay, they are a part of a treatment and they are getting a medicines. So with all these techniques, technologies, AI and machine learning, the overall engagement, involvement and patient monitoring has also become very, very easy and simple. So how is this taking or helping into the clinical decision support making process? Now, one aspect that I would like to mention is about the integration of data. Now, data is going to be everywhere, right? When I talk about a patient, definitely a patient. So if I give you an example, if there's a patient with a diabetes, with a history of DM type 2, has obesity, hypertension, etc., or maybe some cardiac disorders or issues as well, right? 50-year-old male patient. Now, definitely this patient, if I'm looking to recruit this patient in my study, this patient must be having a family physician, has taken treatment for such a long time, right? So there is definitely too much of data, medical history records, which are already existing. Now, if this patient chooses to change or switch doctors, okay, he has undergone some surgery or he has taken different types of medication. So there is lots of data which is relevant to his health condition, but it is all scattered. With the help of AI, what happens? It is possible for us to bring all this data together, right? So I'm sure you must have heard about electronic health records, electronic medical records, scans, x-rays, whatever. So it's possible for us to bring everything together so that we understand completely the condition of the patient, and according to that, the decision is being taken, right? So this is about the integration piece. Evidence-based recommendation. Now, compared to research, most of the data lies in the market or real world data, right? Patient, and here it is not a control environment. It's not a control environment. There are lots of, the population is very high, right? The denominator of how much, patients available when we are conducting the research, to how many patients start taking the drug when the drug is marketed, right? And from the prescription that they receive from the physician, okay, or healthcare professional, how many people are taking the drug, okay? So here, with the help of machine learning, we are able to analyze the data of this patient, and this is providing evidence-based recommendation for diagnosis and treatment, right? Because we have too much of data, we are able to analyze, and then there is an interpretation or conclusion outcome that comes in. With this, the activity or the process of continuous monitoring becomes possible. All these AI algorithm or techniques, they will continuously monitor the data. They will keep providing the alert to the healthcare providers, right? If there are any potential issues, risks that are identified, any change in the condition. So within few seconds, this information is quickly shared, okay, and it is taken, and there is an alert which is shared. So healthcare professional knows exactly what's happening, and not just for one patient, because the prescription or the drug is being used by multiple patients. So if it is a similar event, it gives you an alert in your mind that, okay, do I also need it to look in for other patients? What's happening to them, right? So that's how the overall process becomes much more efficient and easier. Robotic surgery and rehabilitation. So this is also something that we are seeing nowadays. Okay, I was just speaking to one of my friend, and I came to know that she underwent an hysterectomy, and it was through this robotic surgery. So surgical robotics, robots, I think they are taking over, where the surgeons, they are taking help from the robot to perform invasive surgery with minimal invasive procedures, right? And thereby they are enhancing the accuracy and also the patient outcome. So we are able to see that the patients are putting their confidence in all these technologies. Okay, they feel good about it, or they are sharing their confidence, and the outcome, or the overall outcome of the patient from taking treatment, surgical procedures with these technologies is overall good. Similarly, AI-enabled robotic devices, exoskeletons. So I did mention about virtual nurse, right? So in all these process of rehabilitation or providing personalized therapy, AI and machine learning is also contributing to a very significant effect. Next is about the clinical data management and analytics. So coming back to your process of clinical research, clinical trials, right? So when you start with your process of your drug discovery, clinical trial, clinical research, there are multiple stakeholders involved, and there is lots of data which is going to get generated. Okay. One piece of data that gets generated is from the research phase, right? And also with the generation of data, we have to exchange the data. there are stakeholders with whom we need to exchange the data, and also the data which comes from the real world, it needs to be exchanged in order to ensure that it is being interpreted, the report or the correct information is shared with all the stakeholders. So with data integration, like I had mentioned to you earlier, all this data which is scattered in different places, you may be having lots of scans, MRIs, CT scans, other other things or reports. So the AI will enable integration, and it is getting into a database in a much harmonized way. Okay, so it is more uniform from the market, or when the data gets generated, it may be in a very raw form or unorganized way. But with the help of these technologies like machine learning or AI, you are able to get the data into a much uniform, consistent way. All your electronic health records or your MRs which gets generated during the research phase, it is getting into the system in a much structured way. Okay, data quality and standardization. So like I mentioned earlier, that you are expected, or every company, organization, as a part of sharing of information, the data will not remain just with me. If I am a sponsor or a company, right, I need to share, I need to exchange this data with many other people. So for example, the regulatory authorities, right? So if it is not structured, or if it is not generated into a report, I may not be able to share it. So data quality is very important while exchanging, saving the data, archiving the data, ensuring that it is in the right form. Okay, machine learning aids you, or machine learning helps you to ensure that you are able to have the data, or save the data, or capture the data in a better quality. Okay, it is consistent, and it is in adherence or in line with the regulatory requirement. So every regulatory authorities in different regions, different countries, they have their own set of requirement on how the collection of research data should happen, how it should be used, processed, data generation of reports should happen. And once the use of this data is done, how do you archive, or if required, discard the data, right? So this process should follow the requirement from the regulatory authorities or regulatory standards. And then the predictive analysis. So when we have access to so much of data, and all these data is going to the machine, your AI, your machine learning, it is helping you to do lots of analysis. They identify patterns, they have a memory, right? So they do this trend analysis, they predict what is the potential outcome. Okay, so and so patient with a similar demographic, maybe 2 years back, with similar illness or condition, demonstrated or has shown this kind of effect, right? So what is the possibility when I have a similar strata of patient or cohort of patient, this kind of, or a similar kind of adverse event or outcome could be seen. So that's how the predictive analysis happens with your machine learning and your AI. And with this, decision making becomes much more easier. So the overall outcome is you are able to take favorable decision for the patient and give them the best outcome, health outcome. Data privacy and security. So I mentioned about the regulatory requirement. Now, this is something which is very important, because the topic for today is about how technologies are helping easy or making things better. We also need to understand how it should be used. So it's very important that while we are looking at integrating, artificial intelligence, machine learning, and other technologies in our, traditional way or conventional way of performing all our activities, right? It is very important that we use it in a very responsible way, right? Patient data. If I'm a patient, I have to, I will definitely fear that is my data kept or, stored somewhere where 10 people can have a look or access it, right? So if this is the situation, maybe the patient will not have that kind of confidence in the research or sharing this data with their healthcare professional, right? So that confidence should be given to the patient that the data that they are sharing, it will be coded, it will be encrypted. And hence, whether it is hospital, clinic, okay, or a sponsor, provider, payer, or a third party where the outsourcing has happened and that piece of data management is being given, they have to ensure that the data collection, usage, okay, sharing, and then discard or archival happens as per the regulatory requirement. So encryption should be there, or there should be some blinding or redactation of should happen, so that the identity of the patient is not revealed, right? So making use of AI algorithms helps in encryption and to ensure that the patient data is not revealed. Also having access control, okay, robust access control. It simply means that machine learning's model, we are using this to ensure that only the authorized people are having access. Okay, we also have other techniques, where they have biometric access or card access, so that only authorized people can access the data. So with machine learnings, we are able to ensure and restrict how many people or which people can access the data, okay, thereby ensuring a better security policy. Threat. Now we heard about switching from paper to electronics, right? So when we say soft copies, EMR, EHR, where am I going to save this? Right, I'm not going to save it on my computer, on my mobile, right? So there has to be server, there has to be a place where I'm going to save this. So is there a threat to the data that I'm working with or the data that I have collected? So that threat detection and protection is also very, very important. So we have this AI enabled tools which will help us to ensure that if there is any kind of threat, it's been identified. Okay, so in short, taking care of any kind of cyber crimes. So there is a restriction in protection of data also. And then how do we ensure that this process of access control, threat detection, encryption, and anonymization is working? So you have an independent third party like a auditor. Okay, so auditing is being done on a regular basis. So you have AI powered audit data tracks that will access this, ensure that there is an accountability defined, a person or individual or an authorized person who is responsible to ensure that the data protection activity or norms are being followed, right, in a very open and transparent way. So while I am looking at protecting the data, I'm also ensuring that whenever there is a regulatory requirement or an audit, I'm able to show that there is a track. Okay, the data is traceable, there is an audit trail which is being maintained. So it's a transparent process. So this is what the patient wants, and this is what the organization sponsors or the payers wants, who are outsourcing these kind of business to third party or other vendor organization or service providers. Okay, so this is very, very important for organizations to also train to their employees how to ensure data protection. Real world evidence and patient reported outcome. So data collection, I think we discuss too much about data collection, and we know that all these AI systems, they are helping us to integrate data coming from different sources. Okay, few examples that I have mentioned earlier. You have your smart watches, you have your mobile apps, which are all linked to different systems, and real time data. I, like, say for example, I get up early in the morning and I go for a walk, and I'm able to count my steps, what is my pulse, what is my heart rate, etc. And this information is immediately shared with a healthcare professional, right? So we need to understand how quick or how fast this information is. Okay, insight generation simply means that with the help of this data collection or this transmission of data which happens so quickly, you have your AI or machine learning which will analyze this real data, and they will generate some treatment effectiveness, or they will give that, okay, this is what the patient has taken, this is how the patient is feeling, right? So the patient outcome, it is in real time. Okay, also because the overall volume of data is very huge, the data cleaning activity, structuring, or you have to sort that data, right? Cleaning, you may have lots of raw data, some data which is not even relevant. So first activity is, once you collect the data, it is all raw data, unorganized data. How do you do the data cleaning activity? How do you sort it? This is one place which takes too much of time, right? So your AI or machine learning tools will help that all these data gets into a database which is more in a structured way, right? And it helps in analysis or real-time analysis of data. Now, one piece of information which is very important that I was mentioning on the previous slide is, all the regulatory authorities or all the in different regions, when you follow this data collection activity, there is a requirement to maintain the privacy of the patient, right? So you have your HIPAA, you have your CFR, you have your GDPRs. So these are some regulations that talks about what are the requirement, how should one company, individual, or organization ensure that they are following the SOPs or the requirement for data protection and privacy. So how it is collected, how it is processed, used, and then how it is archived. So this has to be within the regulatory framework. So this is very important. Next aspect where we see the usage of technologies in this pharmacovigilance and adverse event monitoring, right? So this is one very, very important aspect within your umbrella of clinical research, right? Where we have to look about the adverse event of the drug. Signal detection being one of the important activity, right? So in short, when I say signal detection, it's like identifying a risk or an adverse event which could be associated with a drug at an early stage. Okay, that is important. So unlike where you do retrospectively and patient has reported an event and then you go look into the records and you see whether it is related to the drug or no. So signal detection is done at a very high level. Okay, so you have this body called as WHO UMC. Okay, who everyone knows, UMC is your Uppsala Monitoring Committee Board, right? So they have this international drug monitoring program where they do carry out this activity of signal detection, where they get data from all possible places, right? There are different collection center zones, and they do this data mining activity to generate new signals every time. So it is an early detection of potential risk, so that you can save the life of patient before an adverse event impacts, right? Same on the risk assessment part. So with the use of your AI and machine learning, you are able to identify, it will give you the prompt, right? So you identify the risk, or how severe or serious the risk could be. So you know this, learn about this well ahead in time, and that's how you are able to communicate and mitigate it, right? Reduce it or prevent it. So that's how your AI and machine learning is also helping in this process of better management of adverse event monitoring and safety to the patient. So which is a part of your PV activity. On the other hand, we have medical device monitoring and optimization. Now, we spoke about drugs, right? However, when we talk about research, or when we talk about data collection management, it is just not restricted to drug, right? You are doing trials with devices, you have biologics, you have vaccines, you have other products also. So along with the drug, it's also important that we see how technology can also ease the usage of device, okay, or regulation of devices. So now, compared to drug, I must say that monitoring of device is little complicated. Why? Because if I have a patient, I have given the drug and I know that, okay, the drug is causing an adverse event, I can, try my pattern of re-challenge and de-challenge, right? So I stop the drug and I see that there is an improvement. Okay, and if now the patient is feeling good, I can re-challenge the drug. But the same thing is not possible with the device, right? So that's why I said that device is complex compared to the drug. Okay, so now, for example, I have a stent which is implanted. I have a pacemaker which is already inside the patient's body, right? How are you going to take it out? You can't do it, right? So here you are AI algorithms or your machine learning techniques. They will help to monitor device, how they're performing, detect the potential issues, or if there is any possibility of malfunction, and they give you an alert so that you can handle and take care of it. So there is something which we call it as predictive maintenance. So we spoke about that the AI or machine learning is capable to predict. So here we are leveraging that predictive analysis model to optimize the device uptime and downtime sizing, so that you can have efficient outcome with patients who are onto device. So usage optimization, same, talking about AI or machine learning, so to analyze the data and provide better outcome insights into how the device is functioning. Okay, and you can keep a track of its efficiency. So that's where in the field of device monitoring and optimization, your technologies are helping you. Then at the end, we spoke about drug discovery, development, clinical trial, data management, pharmacovigilance, the device optimization. One another usage or application of AI or machine is also in supply chain management. Right. So this is also very important. Whether I'm looking at research, okay, when I do research, it's a global site, multi-centric. So there are so many sites where I have to ensure that my IP or my investigator product is going in time, right? How it is shipping, who's the vendor, okay, how many people are involved in that overall supply chain, how it is shipping, transit, everything. Okay, so demand forecasting is something important so that I don't create surplus. Now, all these pharmaceutical products would come with some kind of shelf life. So it's important for me to understand that, okay, I take a requirement from an organization, from a company, okay, before I share this in the market or to the pharmacist. So AI will help me. So again, they have a memory. They see that, okay, how much of medication was supplied in the previous month, or in the current month, what is the approximate usage, right, from these pattern, or how the prescription happened, and what is the surplus, or what is the additional, and now when is the time for that refilling of the product, or the drugs. So inventory management is what AI is capable of doing it, so that we do not land up in creating excess or surplus, right? So that's also something which is important. So logistic optimization, it will help me to track where is my shipment, so that it goes to the pharmacist or to the retail store in correct time. There is no delay. I'm taking care that no kind of damage or tampering happens to my product when my product is into shipment. So that's how it takes care of supply chain management, demand forecasting. So this is my last slide. I have spoken about all aspects, most of the places where AI and machine learning is being implemented. And I'm going to end this session with the argument which which is very interesting, that when we are talking that there are so many places, so many things which artificial intelligence can handle, take care of, right? So do we consider this as a friend or a foe, in a sense that is it going to take away our jobs, right? So we are worried that, okay, now machines are coming and computers are coming, so what will be the impact? So here is an argument. How will AI impact healthcare professional or clinical research industries or healthcare? Now, basis a survey done by an IT company, it was seen that AI has actually contributed to almost 80% of new jobs, which means that AI or these technologies, they are not going to take away your job, but they will actually increase the possibility, they will have more jobs being created. AI will provide or help us. How? They will support in decision making with the humans. They will help us in reducing the time which is required for processing and adding sense, making a report when it is huge amount of data. AI is capable of giving proactive decision, right? And ensuring compliance with regulatory requirement. This is also very important. So in short, what we can expect with the implementation of AI is not that it's going to take away our jobs, right? Rather, they will create more jobs. But what is the condition? The condition or the requirement is we have to upskill. We are learning, we are taking care of all the domain knowledge, the subject. We are learning about regulation, we are learning about clinical research, we are learning about CDM or data management, we are learning about pharmacovigilance. Okay, so it is important that we also look towards technology, right? So we have to embrace the technology. So now the requirement is that along with your domain knowledge, domain subject, you also have to take your hands on technologies, right? And with that, I would, I'm glad to say that here with Clinisol, there are different kinds of training programs and, workshop and hands-on experiences where we are taking care of, this particular kind of training, right? Which is an integrated training where we have technology, computer trainings, hands-on exercise, simulations, which will help the students to understand what they can expect once they take up a job as a fresher. Okay, so that's it for my session today. I hope this was clear and informative. I will be okay to take up the questions maybe at the end of the session so that the other speakers can complete the session. Thank you, everyone. I'll just stop sharing my screen now.
Thank you, ma'am, for your valuable insights regarding AI in clinical research. Now, I would like to introduce our next speaker, Ms. Uma Priya, ma'am.
Mary,
Uma Priya.
Mary,
Yes, ma'am.
Moment. We have our founder and CEO, Mujib sir, here.
Okay.
We just want him to speak.
Okay. Sure. Sure.
Thank you. And I'm really sorry for joining late. I was in FDP program, so I'm really sorry for taking this at last minute. So I'd like to thank MS College for inviting us to take the session. So actually, what is clinical research and what are the different job opportunities for youngsters for B.Pharm, M.Pharm? I'd like to take the session. So this is one of the interesting slide wherein we can understand what is the past, present, and future jobs. Previously we had production jobs and formulation jobs and supply management jobs, QA, QC jobs, regulatory affairs jobs. and also pharmacokinetics jobs and project commercial jobs. And there were marketing jobs and also academic jobs. So these were different jobs previously we had, including hospital pharmacist and medical stores and production, QA, QC, all this kind of jobs were there previously. Then currently we have a lot of jobs regarding with clinical research, wherein the clinical research jobs are more into CRA jobs, where Lavanya has touched based on it, clinical data validation jobs, pharmacovigilance jobs, and medical writing, scientific writings, and also CRA jobs, and the clinical data analysis and regulatory affairs jobs. So these are the current opportunities which we have. And post-COVID, the opportunities for clinical research has grown so much, where pharmacists can go into different kind of careers, including clinical operations, CDM, project management, and business development, and clinical data management, and pharmacovigilance, and clinical data analytics, or statistical analysis, medical writing, and HUR jobs. So these were jobs in current industry. So what are the futuristic jobs we are going to get is on health economics and clinical data science, the futuristic jobs, that how data can be understood and how it can be utilized, and medical monitoring jobs, investigator supporting teams, and trial master file jobs, the recording and updating all kind of documents at a particular location. Imaging research jobs are the futuristic jobs. Project management jobs are more importantly coming into picture for pharmacists, and business development and clinical data analysis and genomic sequencing. So this many new jobs are coming into picture, and these jobs have grown so much post-COVID because COVID has given big lesson that how much we can reduce the time for the drug discovery. So drug discovery timeline has to be reduced, and we have to make sure that the data which is being collected from the clinical trials and hospitals and the patients are being analyzed correctly. The people who designs the clinical trials are called as medical writers. The people who conduct the clinical trials are called as site-specific or clinical operation. The people who collect the data and validate the data is called as clinical data management. The people who analyze the data is called as statistical analysis team. The people who writes the CSR or clinical study report are medical writers. And the people who provides the regulatory activities and documents like CTD, common technical documents, or regulatory affairs team. The people who gets more business is called as business development team. The people who integrate or interpret the images like scans and X-rays and images into data is called as your imaging research team and project management team. So this is about the futuristic jobs which are there in our market. So this is about the first and most interesting slide. So this is careers past, present, and future. And what is all Clinosol all about it, and why Clinosol came into picture is because of this gaps that students were not having more technical knowledge of clinical and practical knowledge, technological knowledge, regulatory guidelines like ICH E6R3, also NDCT rules and DCGI rules. Writing skills and presenting skills and speaking skills were not up to the mark. Logical thinking and leadership skill, innovation skills, speaking skills were not there. Industry expert interactions, networking was not there, and industry updated syllabus was not there. So technical knowledge, technological knowledge, scientific knowledge, clinical knowledge, presentation skills, writing skills, and regulatory knowledge and industry expert sessions were missing. So that's why Clinosol came into picture. And Clinosol came into picture with this all answers like technical trainings, practical trainings, verbal communication, written communication, mentorship and conferences and networking, and also interview preparation. We focus on all these points. And this is about us. We established this organization in 2019, and currently we are having 2 offices, one in Hyderabad and one in Canada. And we are a private limited firm, ISO 9001 MSME. And we have the trainers, including Lavanya, Alma, Suma, and me, 15 to 40 years of experience, including in clinical research, medical writing, pharmacovigilance, data management, SaaS, and project management. And these are the back-to-back 9 awards Clinosol has received for the best training and placements. We had the highest placements of 400 in 2021. So 2019 to 2023, we had back-to-back 9 awards for the highest training and placements. So this is our vision and mission. So we wanted to be the best for international trainings and on clinical research, CDM, pharmacovigilance, medical writings. And these are the specialized courses which are being given. So we are giving 14 hours of live sessions and access to 150 videos, soft copy, hard copy materials, and interview-based questions and mock interviews are being taken. Updated curriculum, latest training methodologies, permanent trainers are there, mock interviews being taken, resume writing, LinkedIn profile creation, weekend industry expert session, alumni session, 2 blogs, 1 article, 1 presentation is being taken, 1 national and international conference can be attended by our student. So these are the assessments, assignments, and critical thinking, health day competitions, engagements, blogs, articles, presentations, and all those activities. So this is our success story. 2019 we started, and currently we are having 3,000 plus students we wanted to project it, and we have 100% placement record also. So this is our training model. We have a LMS, learning management system, where 150 videos can be taken, permanent trainers, list of regular complementary courses, updated syllabus, industry expert sessions, live classes, alumni meets. Hands-on experience, blogs, articles, and latest trainings are being given. And these are our collaborators. We sign a lot of MOUs with colleges, universities, CROs, and companies. And Almas will be in touch with your university or college also for more information on MOU for this collaborations. So these are our placement records for Jan, February, March, and April. And these are our placements till now. And these are our placements domain-wise, company-wise, salary-wise. And this is our different courses which we take. Clinical research, CDM, pharmacovigilance, medical writing, and clinical SaaS, Power BI, LinkedIn, and Excel. So these are the different courses which we take for the training purpose. So for getting admission into Clinosol, we have a demo and written exam and selection confirmation. So this is our events, different events which we have conducted in Clinosol. So these are the different events which we have conducted. And this is to know more about ourselves. This is our LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook and Twitter. So please do get in touch to know more about our courses and our training programs, our placements, and all those details. So with that short introduction of Clinosol, I know that I have taken very quickly because time is less. So I have got a heads up that I have to complete within 5 minutes. So I hope so I have completed within 5 minutes. So I'll hand it over back to the MS College team so that they can introduce the next speaker. So thank you so much. I'm open for questions. I can take the questions at the end. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mujib. I think, Mehreen, can you please take up and introduce the third speaker for the day quickly?
Yeah, I think we can introduce Uma and we can start the session for.
May I request the host to cut short my introduction because we are running out of time. Just a little intro is enough.
Yeah, either Mehreen or Priyanka. Can you please take it up?
Yes.
Yeah. Hello, Mehreen.
Yes. Yes. So I would like to introduce Ms. Uma Priya. Uma Priya, with a distinguished academic background of MSc and MBA from JNTU, began her career in 2004 as a junior associate in medical documentation for US healthcare facilities. Over the years, she demonstrated exceptional skills and dedication, which propelled her to ascend through various roles. She advanced to become a quality head and later transitioned into a project lead in clinical data management at Dimensions Infotech, a position she held until 2018. In 2019, Uma co-founded Clinosol Research Private Limited, where she has been instrumental in establishing and advancing the company's skill development programs. Her extensive knowledge and experience have been pivotal in shaping Clinosol into a premier clinical research training and resource consulting organization. Over the last 5 years, Uma's contribution have not only elevated the standard of clinical research training, but also have empowered countless students and professionals in the industry. Her commitment to excellence and her ability to inspire and mentor have made her a respected leader in the field. I request Ms. Uma Priya ma'am to enlighten us on today's topic.
Thank you so much, Mehreen, and thank you so much, Habib Educational Institutions and Welfare Society, MS College of Pharmacy, for giving us this opportunity. And thank you so much for all my earlier presenters also for making my session more easier. I'll not take much time. I'll just quickly jump into what kind of a growth that we are seeing in artificial intelligence in clinical research in India, and what are the career opportunities and what skills students have to grow so that they can tap these opportunities. So generally, people have different misconceptions about artificial intelligence. They think that it is a difficult kind of a programming language that we will not be able to learn or get into. So COVID has, as Mujib sir was saying, that COVID, pre-COVID, post-COVID, the things have changed with regards to clinical research also, and we are using lots of technologies. When we can use the technologies, we can also build the technologies. Yes. So artificial intelligence is, imbibing humans' intelligence to the machines. We are giving our intelligence to the machines, but we are feeding lots of data, probably thousands of humans' brains into one computer, okay, one system. And then we are teaching them. We are making the systems learn and solve the problems and also make decisions, informed decisions for us to the humans so that we can perform in a better way. They are in turn supporting us, not destroying our jobs. Okay.
Uma, sorry to interrupt you. Can you please go full screen?
Okay, all right.
Yeah, thank
Is it visible now?
Yeah, good enough. Thank you.
Thank you. So when we speak about artificial intelligence, it has been introduced to the Western countries in 1930s itself. 1938, the first artificial intelligence system has been built in US, and that was to solve the mathematical problems. Okay, but it has come very slowly to India around 2018. But our governments are taking very much care in building artificial intelligence systems and also building the ethical considerations of the regulations that will guide the clinical research industry, how we are conducting the clinical research and the way we are using the artificial intelligence systems while using this, informative systems. So in 2020, 2022, it has started growing a lot, and now we are sitting at a place where we are able to handle. Now we are, interacting through our network, right? The very same way we are interacting with the patients, we are collecting the data, we are processing the data, and we are also analyzing and bringing the drug without going into clinics, without going into the manufacturing sites, or without going into the regulatory environments by our own. So what is driving this growth is obviously the technological advancements. When we have started with the basic computer programming, it was in the early 18th century, 1900s, where we have started learning C language, C++, all that code, the SQL and all. Now it has grown to a level that we are now speaking about R, Python, so many machine learnings, deep learning. So much has changed in the computerized world. Okay, the technology is advancing. Now earlier we used to have a manual driving cars. Now we have automated cars, right? You need not to drive. They will be following the commands. So this is the growth of the technology that you are seeing in these days, and government also is initiating, and they are supporting financially to the organizations who are investing in artificial intelligence systems. So the healthcare industry is also growing alongside with the investments from the government agencies and also the research units. And where all we are using these applications in clinical research is in the drug discovery, where we are discovering the molecules. I'll be speaking a little going forward about this. And we are also enabling the patient recruitment. We are collecting all the data across the globe, and we are making the recruitment possible for each and every kind of a disease, with ease. And we are analyzing the data over the computerized systems, collecting across the globe on cloud databases. So these are the two case studies that where AI has been used, and recently an Alzheimer's drug molecule has been identified by the AI systems when we have keyed in lots of information that we have collected from the past. So systems need the data. You have to key in the data, and they will be performing, they'll be doing their duty. And we are seeing that Lavanya has spoken about, remote monitoring. Almas also has spoken about the remote monitoring. Now we are remotely monitoring the patients and making their experiences in a better way, needless to go to the clinical trial site. They can sit at home and, improve their experiences, improve their health at homes. So why AI is required is the first advantage of this is increased efficiency. As I said, one computer is equals to thousands of human brains, and increased efficiency can be achieved using these systems. And accuracy. So if you are teaching the computer systems what is right and what is wrong, they can improve their efficiency when it comes to reducing the errors and making the data much more clear. And cost also will be reduced once you invest on development, then you can repetitively use the systems, and this reduces the cost also. So let's not talk about the challenges and limitations when you use network, when you use the systems. Obviously, there will be some challenges and limitations, but the governments and the policymakers are working on this. Regulators are working very thoroughly on, bringing up new policies where we can literally make, use of these systems and bring out the outputs where we are improving the health outcomes. So what are the roles that have emerged? Mujib sir has already spoken, at a greater length about the new roles that are emerging in this industry. So the roles, the topmost roles are research scientist and data scientist and data manager. These are the very closest roles that are, using, or AI systems have been introduced more, frequently in these domains. So what skills as a graduate you should be requiring to get into such roles are, first you should be learning programming languages such as Python and R, where you can analyze the data and produce insightful outcomes of your data. And you have to learn machine learning and data analysis. These are the technical skills that you require to get into this industry. Of course, the soft skills are very much important, like you should be having a problem solving skill and effective communication skill, because you are working in a environment where you are interacting with different stakeholders, with different cross-functional teams. Teamwork is very much required, because that really enables you to do the problem solving. So you can also achieve degrees in these domains such as biomedical engineering, computer sciences, or data sciences. If you are going for MS programs, or if you are going for any PG diploma courses, these courses are available across the country. You have IITs, IIMs also offering some AI courses. In abroad, you have MS courses in these topics. And certifications, you can do data management courses or AA for healthcare also. They are both available online. Clinosol also offers such courses. So what is the industry looking at? Industry is looking at people like you, because the current growth in India is vast, because we are the largest country, where we are, as I think Lavanya has mentioned, contract research organizations. We are getting all the projects from the foreign countries, right? So the estimated employment in India currently is 50,000 professionals in clinical research industry alone. And this is going to grow to a doubled amount within just 2 years span. Okay. So what are the essential skills that you should be having? Is resume building is the first thing that you have to focus on. You have to highlight all your technical knowledge, all your technical skills, what kind of projects you have handled, your internships, if any, you have done related to AI and healthcare, and your portfolio. Obviously, you have to showcase your projects, research papers, and contributions to your projects that you have done as a part of your projects. And networking, do attend conferences, workshops, webinars, and connect with professionals over LinkedIn who are in this clinical research industry. So to know further, you can go through such things. And we are associated with ACDM, an international clinical data management organization. We are the only organization associated with ACDM for learning. With this, I would like to stop my session over here. If you have any questions, you can ask me. But before you could ask any questions, I would like to show us very small, we were speaking about artificial intelligence all over, but how it works, I would like to show a very good example. This is a Google teachable machine where you can just, it is a free tool. Anybody can do experimentation with this. Okay. So I hope I'm really lacking in time. So you can go through Google Teachable Machine. You can teach by your own. You can see the examples over my screen, right? So it can sort, anything. So you have to feed the machine with the data. It will be identifying. Okay, you can go through this when you get some time, how you can also work on AI. And this is one more video that I would like to show. I'm not getting time to play this for you, but you can watch over YouTube how this automated robotic arm is working when she has lost her hand and her leg. Okay, So you can go through these and you can see the power of AI in healthcare. You can see the power of AI in everywhere in the industry. With this, I stop my session. Thank you so much for this opportunity. If any questions, please, we are open to take them up. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Uma. May I request Mehreen or Priyanka to please take over and continue the session as per the agenda?
Ma'am, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible. Audible, Priyanka.
Thank you, Uma Priya ma'am, for your valuable information on growth of AI in India and career opportunity in clinical research. Now, I want to ask our speaker any question answer session or the queries which are by our participants in our chat box.
Yeah, so if there are any questions, we request the participants to please put your questions in the chat box. We have all our speakers here, so we can help you on your queries, on your questions.
Ma'am, also check the YouTube live.
Yes.
Participants, put your question and queries in chat box so all the speakers can solve your query.
We have received a few questions over YouTube. So one I want to read out from Ayaz Khan. Can we do these courses side by side our graduation?
I'm sure.
Almas, you want to take up this question?
Yeah, sure. So, if you're asking about the courses, we have, designed and we have planned these courses in a way that, you can take it up definitely with your regular college and learnings. We don't want to, invade that. So the sessions or the classes we are doing is in the evenings, usually from 6, 7, or even 8, so that from your regular college syllabus, you also get a chance to take up these knowledge on, pharmacovigilance, CDM, clinical data sciences, okay, and gain some technical skills also, computer, communications, etc.
Sakshi is asking, can AI speed up clinical trials?
Yes, Sakshi, the answer is yes. I think from the presentation that I was making, we already understood, different places where AI or machine learning has already been implemented, and we are able to see significant difference in the time how in a traditional way we were conducting the research, right? I did mention that it was nothing less than 10, 12, or even 15 years. And despite that, there was no guarantee that the drug would come up successfully in the market. If you check, there are evidences, and we know that every trial has actually failed, at some point of the other. Okay, and then they have gone back, they have, reworked on the data, and then done some kind of changes to the methodology, the the protocol, or how the study phase is designed. And with all these works up, they have been able to continue with the study. So with the help of AI, we will definitely be able to cut short this. And if you remember, I mentioned about predictive analysis, right? So about all past failures or anything that could go wrong, we will be able to identify this well ahead of time, and that's how we can take care of these. So again, to answer your question, definitely AI, they are already reducing significantly the time in which clinical trials were being conducted now. Any further questions we have?
Yeah, some students were asking about the cost of the course as well as the modules and all. Guys, we have a live demo, live demonstrative session about the career, specifically career guidance, planned on this coming Saturday, 29th June. Do get in touch with us. You can just go through our website. You can come from there. You can get in touch with our team also. 9121151622 is our contact number. You can contact our team. You can take up this demonstrative session about the career guidance, and we'll be giving all these details about the courses, about the fee, and about the curriculum. Everything you'll be coming to know in that session separately.
Yes, and we would request all the participants to please share your feedback, because this will help us to get to know you, your interest, what different kind of sessions you would like to hear from us. Okay, and it will definitely help all of us to improvise the way we are conducting this session and bring up more topics on, advancement and other career opportunities to you. So I would request all the participants to please feel your feedback, right?
One more last question I can take is, can you do AML courses directly? You can take up AML courses directly, but our suggestion is first learn about clinical research. You cannot directly get into other sectors, right? You being from a pharma background, you better take clinical research courses. Simultaneously, you can learn machine learning and artificial intelligence, wherein you can understand how you can, work with patient data using AML models. Okay, we have AML in finance, we have AML in banking, every other sector. But as a life science or a pharma graduate, you are more connected to this field. So first get a base level understanding about what clinical research is all about, what kind of data you are gathering, and then how to perform these operations using AML.
Yeah. Uma, can we have our team just quickly to share the feedback form so that they can fill the feedback form, and then we can proceed with the vote of thanks and we can conclude the session. But we would request all the participants to please share your valuable feedback with us.
Akhila, can someone share the feedback form in this group as well as in this YouTube channel quickly?
Ma'am, also share it in chat box your Zoom meeting.
Yeah, our team is shared. Can we have our videos turned on quickly so that we can take a snap?
Yes, ma'am.
वीडियो ऑन नहीं हो रहा है क्या ना? मेरा नहीं हो रहा है, नहीं हो रहा है.
Participants are unable to on their video, ma'am.
Can you check now?
Yeah, we have enabled the videos. I think we can have all the participants so that we can click a picture for this webinar. And we would be sharing the contact number and the feedback link in the chat also, both for in the YouTube link and in the WhatsApp group also, so that you can share your feedback.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah.
All right. Can we quickly have a vote of thanks and
yes, Priyanka, we over to you. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am. Now I would like to requesting our in charge of pharmacy, Mrs. Priyanka, ma'am, to share a vote of thanks.
I am audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Thank you, Varsha. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Priyanka Pan. On behalf of MS College of Pharmacy, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to the distinguished of Soul Research Private Limited conducting such an insightful and encouraging webinar for our student and faculty. First and foremost, thanks to our principal, Dr. Mohammad Hasim Mansoori, Dr. Mufassir sir, and Mr. Ashwin Songwar, HOD of the pharmacy. Also, I would express our sincerely thanks to Ms. Lavanya, Director of Training and Development. Your expertise and dedication are nurturing future professionals and truly commendable. The knowledge and practical insights you shared have provided us with a deeper understanding of the industry and have undoubtedly many of our students. I would also like to send a profound expression to Ms. Almash Saeed, Director of Business Development. Your comprehensive overview of the business aspects of clinical research has enlightened us about the myriad of opportunities and challenges with the field. Your presentation was not informative but also highly motivating for those considering career in business development. Our heartfelt thanks go to Uma Priya, Director of Operation. The operational strategy and experiences you have shed light on the critical aspect of managing and executing research projects. Your session was instrumental in providing our attendants with practical perspective operation side of the industry. All the three of you, your commitment to education and professional development is evident, and we are grateful for the time and effort you have decided to making this webinar a success. Your contribution have significantly enriched our academic environment and have provided our students with valuable insights that will their future endeavors. Finally, I would like to thank everyone involved in organizing and host Madam, Marine Madam, as well as our attendees for participation and encouragement. There, thank you once again to Clinisol Research Private Limited, and we are looking forward to future collaboration. With sincerely gratitude.
Thank you so much, Priyanka ma'am. Request all participants to fill the feedback form. Link is in chat box. I wanted to ask to the speaker,
Sorry, Priyanka, you were trying to ask something?
can we end up with the same?
Sure. We would just request all the participants to fill their feedback. And thank you, everyone. On behalf of Clinisol, I would like to thank Dr. Mufassir, Priyanka, Dr. Sameer, Ashwin, and everyone else from MS. I think it was a wonderful session. All of you have significantly helped in coordinating the session, especially by giving a detailed plan, the agenda, the flow of event. So it was a wonderful coordination from each one of you. Thank you so much for giving this an opportunity, and we look forward to collaborate for you for conducting many such programs, workshops, and webinars. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day ahead. Bye-bye.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. Once again, I request all the participants to fill feedback form. Link is in chat box. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you.